Welcome back to Fourth and Goal. I am C-Walt. If you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you would give the channel a like and a subscribe. Subscribing is a free way to help the channel. It helps us grow and reach new audiences. The channel is on the road to its first 100 subscribers, and with your support, I know we can hit that goal before the new year. We're only 29 subscribers away. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video to get my Gator Bowl game prediction results. So number 22, Clemson is set to play Kentucky in the 2023 Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida at noon Friday, December 29th. So this is the first time Clemson and Kentucky have played since the Meineke Car Care Bowl. And this game has a lot of similarities from the one back in 2009. Both teams have identical season records. Kentucky's 7-5 and Clemson's 8-4. Also, just a fun fact, C.J. Spiller will be on the sidelines for this game just as like he was in 2009. The 2009 bowl game was the last time he was in the Clemson uniform, and he got his first bowl win as a player. This time around, he's on the sidelines as Clemson's running back coach. So how did both teams get here? Kentucky finished the season 7-5, fourth in the SEC East. What does Kentucky have to play for? Well, Kentucky's got a lot to play for, mainly pride and a win against one of the best brands in the last 12 years in college football. Just 2 years ago, they were a 10-3 team, so they're looking to finish 8-5 and improve on their 7-6 record from last year. Also, Kentucky's playing for their head coach. Mark Stoops chose to stay at Kentucky instead of heading to Texas A&M. After the team got the news that Stoops was coming back and they found out they were playing Clemson, the majority of the team decided they were opting back into the bowl game instead of not playing. So this will be a big opportunity for Kentucky to finish the season off well, beating one of the bigger brands in college football over the past decade. They're also playing for momentum for the 2024 season. They beat Louisville in rivalry week, and they also want to take down Clemson. If Kentucky can win, this is a big-time momentum changer for their program. As far as Clemson finished 8-4, sixth in the ACC. What is Clemson playing for? They're playing for another season of at least 9 wins and 12 straight seasons of having a postseason win. Clemson's also playing for momentum heading into the offseason. Clemson's won 4 in a row and is looking to finish with its 5th win in a row. Finishing the season with 5 wins will build a lot of momentum heading into next season. Now, in this game, Clemson will be without a lot of their bigger players from this past season. Bo Collins, Andrew McCuva, Toriano Pride, all of those guys transferred out of the program. Sheridan Jones is injured. Nate Wiggins, Rukaroro, and Jeremiah Trotter are heading off to the NFL. So, in a nutshell, this means Clemson's defense is going to be extremely young for this game. This will give us a better look at what 2024 is probably going to look like for Clemson. So offensively, what does Kentucky need to do to win this game? First, they need to take advantage of the youth in Clemson's secondary. Clemson's going to have 4 freshmen starting in the secondary at corner and safety. Devin Leary should take some shots downfield to test the young secondary. This could lead to some big chunk plays for the Wildcats. Also, they need to get Ray Davis going effectively and open up the passing game for Devin Leary. Ray Davis is one of the best running backs in the SEC. He's had over 1,000 yards rushing this year with 13 touchdowns, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a dynamic playmaker for the Wildcats. He has 317 yards receiving and 7 touchdowns to add on. He's a big-time weapon for Devin Leary, and if he gets going, that can be the difference in the outcome of the game. If Kentucky can get the run game going, that'll allow Leary to spread the ball out to his top 3 receivers. All of Kentucky's receivers have nearly identical stats. This is when Kentucky's offense is able to do the most damage and run most effectively. So what does Kentucky's defense need to do to help them win? Well, first of all, they need to stop Clemson's run game. Kentucky has 2 monster defensive tackles, Walker and Oxendine, who eat up a bunch of space and are very good at stuffing the run. In the few games I've watched this year with Kentucky, these guys have been dominant at stuffing the run and forcing the opposition to throw the ball. This is going to allow Kentucky's linebackers and secondary to drop in zone at times to create turnovers situationally, and it also allows their linebackers to be freed up to put pressure on the quarterback. Their linebackers, Wallace and Weaver, have a combined 9.5 sacks on the season. So what does Clemson need to do offensively to win the game? Well, for starters, Clemson's got to protect the football. Just a little note here. Clemson has 21 fumbles on the season, and they've lost 13 of them. Just for comparison, Kentucky's had only 13 fumbles all season. So that's an interesting stat. Now, this is not very conventional, but Clemson needs to use the pass to set up the run. You know, most people say use the run to set up the pass, but in this game, with the big DTs that Kentucky has that can stuff the run, I think Clemson needs to pass first and spread those guys out to get the running lanes open. So Clemson needs to use the pass to set up the run. They need to let Cade open up the offense like they did against UNC in last year's ACC championship game. The Clemson staff has got to let him work with these receivers to build more chemistry for the future. Clemson gets Antonio Williams back, and if you pair him with Tyler Brown, both guys can create space, and it will force the linebackers to drop in the zone and put less pressure on Cade. Next, Clemson needs to get Jake Brenningstool involved. When Brenningstool's involved, the Clemson receivers have been able to get space across the middle, and it's helped open up the Clemson run game. Just a little fact. In almost every game Kentucky lost, the opposing offense has got their tight ends involved. Those teams took advantage of the pressure Kentucky was trying to create and got chunk plays from the tight end position, and this also opened up the run game for those teams. Clemson also needs to establish the run from the pass. Now, you can do both. Clemson's offense line, their O-line is just not technically sound or physical enough to line up with to win the one-on-one matchups against Kentucky's D-line. Those guys are just too big and eat up too much space. If Clemson can force Kentucky to play zone with their linebackers and spread the D-line out, this should help Clemson line be able to effectively use combo blocking on the big D linemen. That will help the run lanes open for Moffa and Shipley. Also, Moffa and Shipley need to run with a purpose. This could be Shipley's last game. Shipley's got to run decisively and find out the open holes. Too many times in Shipley's career, I've watched him and I've noticed that he runs to contact instead of away from it. It's just kind of mind-blowing. Moffa needs to be that big bruiser and get those short yards. Moffa's got to run through that first contact. I know we've all seen Moffa go down after a first hit, and it's like, man, you're 230, 6'2", 230. You should be breaking first contact more than you do. So both guys need to continue to run like they have the last few games of the season and hang on to the football. Ball security is paramount, and Clemson hasn't done a great job of it this year. It's kind of their MO is unconventional turnovers. So defensively, what does Clemson need to do? First of all, they need to stop Ray Davis. It's simple. When Ray Davis held below 100 yards, Kentucky typically loses. In 4 of their 5 losses, Davis has been below 100 yards. So what's this mean? This means Clemson's D-line has got to win the line of scrimmage. One of the few weak spots for this defense has been that Clemson's D-line is susceptible to the run. If they can win the line of scrimmage, Clemson has a good chance to control the outcome of this game. Clemson's defensive ends need to create pressure on Devin Leary to help out that very, very young secondary. Clemson hasn't had a lot of success rushing the passer this year, but I personally think the techniques that a new defensive end coach, Chris Rump, has been teaching over the last few weeks will pay off and help out Xavier Thomas, TJ Parker get to the quarterback quicker and create more pressure. Next, Clemson's young secondary has got to come ready to play. You have to think Kentucky's going to take some shots down the field on these freshman corners. Clemson's starting Avian Terrell, Sheldon Lewis at corner. Both are true freshmen. Terrell's proved over the last 4 games he's ready to be that number 1 guy, but he's still really only played 4 games as a starter. Lewis is on the other side, and he's much more raw and inexperienced. So I could look and see that Kentucky will probably take shots toward Sheldon Lewis. Clemson also has Khalil Barnes. He's a freshman. He's been a stud this year, but he's still a freshman. And they've got R.J. Mickens and Kylan Griffin rounding out the secondary. And Mickens is the only veteran guy in that locker room. He's a fifth-year guy, or coming back for his fifth year next year, so he'll be the only veteran for 2024. So this means 4 of the 5 DBs on the field are either true freshmen or redshirt freshmen. So this will be something to watch. It seems that Clemson has hit on these young guys, but having all of them on the field at one time, that'll give us a better chance to evaluate them as a group. And just one quick note on special teams for both teams. Kentucky has the advantage at kicker, no doubt. Their kicker Rayner's 10 for 11 on field goals with a long of 50. And for Clemson, Jonathan White's is 11 for 17 with a long of 50. So you're looking at basically 91% makes for Rayner and 64% for White. So definite advantage for Kentucky in the special teams category. So this brings me to my 2023 Gator Bowl prediction. So I think it'll be a hard-fought game where yards are hard to come by. I think Clemson will be able to throw down the field enough to open up the run game. I also think the lack of depth for Kentucky behind their every down starters will ultimately hurt them. Clemson should be able to wear down Kentucky's defense enough to control the time of possession and get some crucial late-game first downs. With all the similarities of the past matchups, my prediction is very reminiscent of the 2009 or the 2009 Meineke Car Care Bowl. So I am going to take the Tigers with the same score as the last time they played in 2009, 21-13. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. You can click the little red subscribe icon on the bottom right corner of the video to help the channel continue to grow. Thank you for all of your time and support, and check out some of my other videos attached at the end screen of this video. Until the bowl game recap, stay safe and be blessed. Later.